Zoom is being awfully sensitive today, it seems like.
My whole computer's about shit in the bed right now. I don't know. It's like slow as hell.
Yeah, same here.
Cyber attack.
Yeah. We got digital Ding-A-Lings all over the place trying to
Wow, digital Ding-A-Lings. Oh my God. Well, hey, you want to do the intro?
I do.
Yes.
Greetings, citizens of Earth. Welcome to Accelerativ Thrust. I'm Dan.
And I'm Eric.
Continuing the trajectory into, I love that word, trajectory.
Yeah, trajectory.
Yeah, it makes me feel somehow superior to other people when I say trajectory, and it shouldn't, but it does. So I'm just like, trajectory.
Yeah.
Because most people don't use that word.
No, they use arc? No.
Arc. Arc.
Propulsion. I don't know what people say.
We're coming up with some good words, man.
I just say trajectory.
I like arc and propulsion quite a bit.
Yeah.
Propulsion's great.
Yeah.
What I've heard it before. What does propulsion mean?
I probably don't know specifically. Like all the engineers listening will probably get mad at me, but I think it's energy basically is expended to move something else forward, like rockets, or farts. Farts when you're on roller skates. That's the definition.
So like a muffler on a car or something.
Well, only if the muffler actually produced the propulsion. I'll just use the word to define the word.
There you go.
We should move on. Yowza. Oh,
Yowza.
Man.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay, yeah. So I think me and you should both have. So you're like yowza, and I'll be like wowzers.
Okay. Yeah, like their catchphrases, sort of.
Yeah, catchphrase. Because
what was mine again? Yowza.
Yowza, and mine is wowzers. Because I think didn't Shaggy on Scooby Doo say that wowzers?
I don't know. He said zoink Scoob.
Yeah, zoink. Yeah, zoink Scoob. That was a killer impression of Shaggy right there, Eric.
I've been working on it for 38 years.
38 years?
Yep.
Specifically 38 years?
Yeah. That's when I first listened to Casey Kasem on the radio.
Yep. Casey Kasem. Yes.
Yeah. Because he's Shaggy,
okay. I don't think I've ever known that. Was he really Shaggy?
For real?
Was it Shaggy?
Yep.
Huh. I never knew that for some reason.
Well, now you know.
I know.
That's the info I'm going to disseminate today.
Man, we are like wizards today.
Shaggy Kasem.
Hey, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to do the.
What's that?
Mind blown.
Oh, I see. I can't see what you're doing.
Neither can the listeners, but it doesn't matter.
It was just a whoosh. A nondescript whoosh. Yeah.
We got to quit talking like geniuses, man. Nondescript whoosh.
You should watch Twin Peaks: The Return with the closed captioning on, because whoever did it really earned their money and took a lot of liberties.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like you'll be watching a scene and then in parentheses it'll say ominous whooshing sounds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what? I actually do remember that. It was very specific when they would describe stuff like the casino, like all the noises and everything, and be like ringing sounds with lights or something. Yeah.
Weird stuff.
Weird.
Stuff.
You know what else is kind of weird?
What?
But in a different sort of way is that that album that we're going to talk about today.
Oh, yeah. It's called, the group's called Machine Girl, and the album's called MG Ultra.
I have to know if that is a reference or a satirical take on MK Ultra.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, Machine Girl, their bio is just, don't worry, Machine Girl is not real. You can go back to sleep. But
real? That's great.
But actually, they are it's a project by Matt Stevenson, and then in 2015, Sean Kelly joined as the live drummer, and they are from New York, New York. And they describe their music as fucked up electronic punk, which I can't disagree with. I would say it's, for me, more like hyper pop, industrial glitch, brain dance, insanity.
Yeah,
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it definitely has aspects of like dark industrial sort of thrown in a little bit, but for me, it's almost like only like elements of that mixed with like electro pop, which would then kind of lend itself to the hyper pop. But yeah, aspects of like breakcore and gabber. But
yeah,
the thing that I really like about this album is that it's really catchy and actually quite it sounds happy and fun.
I agree. Yeah, and I've been listening to Machine Girl for a while. The Wolf Girl record, and then U Void synthesizer, I was really into a lot. And I like
are those records anything like this one?
Well, that's the thing. This one honestly is a little more poppy, and yeah, it's fun. Like, you enjoy listening to it. It makes you feel happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really, there's a playfulness to it.
Yeah, that's a good word.
And the thing about it that it's like music you can dance to like the whole way. And also, one of the things that makes it really fun to me is, we kind of already touched on this with the album title, but a lot of play on words, like the song Mother Father, and then New Meta Phenomena.
Yeah.
Those are like the mother father thing, kind of like they're taking like the sound of the record into consideration with the title, like, because they could have just easily called the song Motherfucker.
Yeah, I was gonna wait to talk about this, but
yeah,
I will talk about it because we're naturally, organically getting there.
Yeah.
So on I Get Wet, the Andrew WK album, the song I Love New York City, which made this especially interesting when I found out Machine Girl from New York City. At one point in the lyrics, he says, "We are your mother, father." We are your mother, father. And the voice that Andrew WK uses, it sounds exactly like the voice on the Machine Girl song. And then I was like, wait a minute, there is a lot of Andrew WK in here. Like, that's the level of fun and irreverence that this has to me. Like, it feels like that level of a new take on pop that's aggressive and just blisteringly fun, and that's how I felt about I Get Wet by Andrew WK. So I think, there might be a connection.
Andrew WK is an artist that I didn't even think of when listening to this, but oh my God, is that so accurate?
Yeah, it wasn't until I actually heard basically his voice saying those words that I was like, oh shit,
But yeah, back to the Machine Girl album at hand, dude, it just sounds like they were having a blast making these beats. There's a ton of layers and dynamics to it, but it's not really abstract.
It's funny you were talking about how much is going on in the songs. I honestly think in every 30 seconds of music on this album, there's more like sound and sonic information and more cultural information in that 30 seconds than honestly most albums have on them. It's like it never stops giving. Like, every second of it has been thought about, processed, messed up, and reconfigured. Every second of it has been thought about. There's no sitting back and just letting something ride anywhere on this album, not for a second. It's like so sonically dense and fast moving and just crazy that it's a blast. I gotta say, I reacted vocally to this. I listened to this in the car a couple times. And first of all, about every 40 seconds, I turned it up another notch because I was stoked. I'd hear a sound and be like, what? I got to turn this up. But not only that, but I responded vocally probably 4 or 5 times listening to this album. Like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Like, I was so, like, excited about it that I was being, like, super supportive of them. Just like, oh, no way. Like, I couldn't even help myself but interact with it. So, with that being said, I did kind of like the last review. I left this off of my 2024 list so that we can talk about it. But it definitely is one of my favorite things from last year, and just one of my favorite things. I don't have a single bad thing to say about it.
The lyrics are, I think, very tongue-in-cheek in the themes. And to me, they kind of read like a fun sort of campy horror movie or something. Like, but it also kind of deals with, I don't know, I think that there's a lot of commentary on like maybe sort of like modern day society as well. You know, it's that's where kind of like the darkness maybe comes in a little bit for me. I feel like they're kind of continuing maybe a long tradition in a way, which is funny to say because there really is nothing traditional about this record.
Right.
But in terms of just like maybe singing lyrics that are kind of a little bit creepy or a little bit sort of dark or subversive a little bit. And then like putting it to like music that kind of makes you want to dance and groove a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And
yeah, for sure.
I think that's kind of what sets this apart from most of the electronic sort of industrial, even hyper pop stuff, or gabber, breakcore, stuff like that, that maybe we've reviewed on this show, is that a lot of industrial music had a specific goal to be as dark and, you know, relentlessly angry and angsty as possible. Whereas I don't get that from this at all.
Right. It's almost like it's dark in spite of itself.
Yeah.
Like it ends up almost being darker because it is so fun that when they do get dark, it's like really dark.
I wonder if that was kind of the goal, if they were like kind of trying to like destroy the genre, so to speak, or not even not destroy it, but maybe like re-examine it, or what do they call that? Reconstruct it, deconstruct it. You know, like
the old D&Y, they call that.
Yeah, the D&Y. That's a good one, D&Y. You know, to me, a lot of the sort of wackiness of this record too, because there is a like definitely like a goofiness to it, like as well, and not in a bad way. Really reminds me, and again, we've talked about this before, as problematic as they may be, a lot of this stuff to me, you know, like Ground Zero is basically mindless self-indulgence.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I have a recommended if you like list, but we're already touching on most of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no way that back in the early 2000s, if someone said, hey, what's going to be really influential in the future? There's no way I would have said, oh, you know, mindless self-indulgence.
No.
There's no way I would have thought that would catch on.
There's another aspect to some of these songs that kind of come out to me, and that is sort of like Bumblebees 81 and some Beck and some like Len and stuff like that kind of coming out in some of this stuff.
I mean, that's the thing. Honestly, I think every aspect of every type of electronic music and every aspect of those types of electronic music are represented here. And it's not like one song. It's like through one song, there's probably 20 different moments where you can think, oh, that sounds like this, or this sounds like that, or whatever. If you even have a chance to catch your breath to think about what it might sound like. I don't know.
For sure.
It's a pretty amazing record. That's all.
It is.
That's what I got to say about it.
I really, really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. I mean, this is obviously we love it, and I think it's great, and I think everyone else would love it, unless there's a rare, small chance that you don't like extremely fast noise with glitchy chipmunk vocals mixed with like industrial raspy screaming. If there's the weird off chance you think you don't like that, you should still try it. Because
that stuff is that stuff is for everybody. I don't know how I could possibly
but I was thinking about it, like who wouldn't like this? And then I remembered some people don't like really aggressive, noisy things, even if they're fun. And that's like too bad. It's sad. I feel bad for them.
You guys should definitely give it a listen.
It's so great. So great.
The only thing I've been listening to this week is
what?
Oh, I wanted you to guess. I'm sorry.
Oh, Machine Girl.
No. Although I have been listening to it a fair amount. So I guess technically it's not the only thing I've been listening to, but The Touchy by Louie Louie.
Yeah, Louie Touchy.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta listen to that.
So I don't know if have you done any actual research into that record?
No.
I looked it up.
I think I heard it somewhere. Or was on a TV show or something.
So I looked it up, and it was on Spotify's 100 Strangest Records Ever Released.
Okay, yeah.
And then I saw somewhere where it actually said that it is said to have sold at least 25 copies.
Yeah, it's so good. Okay, so it's called Louie Louie, but it's not Louie. Like it's Luie. And it's called Touchy, and it's about how he invented this new dance called Touchy, and it's really similar to Bruce Hack in my mind, like the sound of it. He does he'll tell you there's like at least a 30-second to 1 minute intro to the album where he talks about how he made the album. It's
and then every song subsequently after that has at least a 1 minute intro where he talks about the song that he's about to play, and they're all like pretty much different versions of the Touchy.
Right. Yeah, they're all variations on the theme.
One of them is so jaw-dropping that you're just like he starts talking about how like people want to be touched, and then he's just like he talks about like putting like a button on like a girl, and then every time that like I have to go back and listen to it, but he's like, and every time that you want to like do the dance, the Touchy, just press the button on the other person that you placed on there or something. It's like, what? It was really, it goes really, really weird. Like,
it came out in 1974, I guess.
Yeah, psychotic, man. Yeah. It's so like crazy.
It's definitely outsider music, and it's outsider music that I've not heard anyone else talk about. So,
and it's also like it's outsider music, but you can kind of tell that like there is some musicianship involved.
For sure it is.
Like, but like the best part is where he's like, Like he starts talking after the first song. He's like, for it to be a touchy, it has to have a
wild
trumpet intro.
Introduction.
Like it sounds like, I don't know, Melt Banana or John Zorn for a second.
It's really something. It really is great. Yeah.
It goes so many different places. Mariachi music, jazz, psychedelic.
Oh, so good.
I don't even know. Yeah.
So that's all you've been listening to.
Oh, the touchy, dude. I can't let it go.
Yeah.
I can't let it go.
That's good.
That isn't all I've been listening to. I lied, but it is it has definitely been like, it's one of those things that I immediately shared with like so many other people. I'm like, dude, Erik just showed me this. Yeah. This is hilarious.
Yeah. And then he went on to make a couple more records that are super like Christian, all about Jesus and stuff. But they're just as weird. Like he'll literally be talking about like stories from the Bible and stuff. And you're still like, this is weird. Like, I don't know. It's great. Yeah.
No, it's strange. I wonder whatever happened to that guy. I wonder if he sold more than 25 copies of the following albums.
Yeah, Louie, if you're listening, let us know what you've been up to.
Yeah, let us know. And if I were you, I'd check out this Machine Girl album too.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, Louie. Yeah. You know,
I bet he'd like it a lot.
I bet he would. I bet he would. I don't know. Maybe a collaboration in the future.
Nice. Now I've been listening to Blood Visions by Jay Retard.
Oh gosh, that is such an amazing.
You know, Machine Girl got me in the mood for some things. And Blood Visions is one of them. The Andrew WK I Get Wet is one of them. I've also been listening to Pharmacon's new record, Maggot Mass. It's called. It's really.
I've never heard of them. What's that like?
It's hard to explain. You know, I think I'll just leave it to you to figure out what it sounds like. Because honestly, I can't. It covers a lot of ground, but it's really slow and I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. You'll just have to listen to it. Yeah. And then the only other thing was Don't Break the Oath by Merciful Fate. I've been listening to that a lot.
That's pretty good. A classic. So I've actually been listening to quite a few things. Seriously, besides just the touchy. So Thinking Fellers, Union 282. I've been listening to their first album, Warmed by Leonard, quite a bit.
Okay.
Tristeza, Dream Signals in Full Circles. Been listening to that album a lot. Have you ever heard Tristeza?
No.
Members of, well, it's got a member of the Locust. But they're nothing like the Locust. And speaking of the Locust, so Tristeza is like an instrumental indie group.
Oh, okay.
You know, think like Godspeed without all the orchestration, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I've been kind of delving back into the Frogs lately. They're another like strange, problematic group. Sparks. Been kind of listening to some of them. Sufjan Stevens.
Yeah.
Enon. Nice. I've been listening to that Believo record a lot.
It's one of my favorite albums.
It's ever. A great record.
It's so good.
Brainiac. I've been listening to Hissing Prigs a lot. I forgot how amazing that record is.
They're all so good.
They're all amazing. It's such a shame what happened, with that band.
Yeah. For sure.
Drive Like Jehu, Yank Crime, amazing. Viagra Boys, man, there's so much stuff. But the Locust, the last album that they put out, New Erections, is so good. And
you mentioned that last time. I'm going to listen to that right.
It's one of those. It's one of those things that like. It's another one of those things where it's like I've always known the Locust, but I never gave that album a chance.
Yeah, I haven't either. But I'm going to now.
I think it's great. But yeah, lots of stuff.
Awesome, man.
And the touchy.
Yeah, and the touchy. You guys got to listen to it. Louie. You're gonna love it if you listen to this show. You're gonna love it, and if you don't love it, you shouldn't listen to this show.
The other recommendation I would do is right after listening to it, blast the Black Flag version of Louie Louie.
Sure. Yeah. Oh man, that little feedback part right at the beginning of Louie Louie is one of my favorite sounds.
So good.
And then it always has been. I'm going to cut this out, obviously. But when I was a kid, I used to make these tapes where I would like record things, like little snippets. I guess they would be called samples. And then I would just pause the other cassette, play it, and record just that little bit, pause it, and do that over and over again. So it was loop, you know? And I took that Louie Louie feedback part and I did that. I made like a loop out of it.
Oh, cool.
And then years later, the Beastie Boys used the same exact sample.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
You know, the Beastie Boys, they sampled a lot of hardcore. You know, there's a video that I watched the other day that was just recently uploaded. I don't feel this album gets talked about enough anymore. Definitely not to the extent of License to Ill and Paul's Boutique. I feel like everyone knows the story of those two records, but Ill Communication, there was a whole video done about like the recording process of Ill Communication.
That's a great album.
It's my favorite Beastie Boys album, probably. And
that and Check Your Head, those two together, that makes up my
incredible. Absolutely, mine too. That was the best era of the Beasties as far as I'm concerned. But like, they sampled a lot of like within those two records. They sampled a lot of Bad Brains and Black Flag, stuff like that. Nice. And
we've given a lot of We're giving it away for free at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
You know what else is good? You know what else is good? Like
bonus content.
Keep it to ourselves a little.
bonus content.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I like this new format. I think
I do too.
That it makes me talk really fast. And I also think talking about Machine Girl makes me talk really fast. Yeah. Like, this is a very excitable episode.
Yes.
Like I feel that I've just been really sped up, and I think it's fine. I think it's good. Because a lot of times this podcast is more like, there's like 10 minutes of just like noise and like heavy guitars, you know, like that kind of stuff. So this time it's like, let's have so much fun.
Let's discuss. It's kind of like Machine Girl in podcast form.
Wow.
There's a darkness. There's a darkness looming beneath the surface, but it's lighthearted and fun at the same time.
Yeah. Wow.
So we want to thank Machine Girl for doing this,
for infecting us.
Also, we'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on stuff. Shoot us an email if you want, or shoot us a message through Insta.
Wow. All right. So what did we say? Did we say all the stuff?
I think we said all the stuff.
We said all the things.
I guess like the one thing that I would say is, if you don't know, our email is accelerativ.thrust@gmail.com.
And don't put the E on accelerative.
Yes, don't put the E on accelerative, because everyone knows the real spelling of Accelerativ Thrust, because everyone, at least according to Goodwill stores in the early 2000s, has read Future Shock at some point in their life.
Because and all the color variants too.
And all the color variants, because there were a lot of Future Shock copies in the early 2000s in thrift stores all across America. And by all across America, I mean Iowa.
Same diff.
Yeah, same diff. Iowa, all across.
We represent America, pretty well. That's why we have the caucus and stuff,
and the Caseys.
Oh God, I'm like out of breath.
Yeah,
that was a really fast episode.
It was a very good workout too. Like just I feel like I need to go eat a recovery meal now. Get my proteins.
I'm gonna have to carbo load for the next episode.
Fettuccine Alfredo. Time to carbo load.
Welcome to Accelerativ.
And with that fake barfing noise, we should go.
Bye.
We surprised ourselves.
We did.
With that bye.
I think we did. Yes.
I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication.